Hello team, how are we going? I'm going to be on in 5 minutes. I'm just going to have a gentle talk to you now while I'm watching you all come in chat. Understanding that Lauren's phone is KO'd at the moment. So I can see he's all jumping on. I can see Mr. P there. He keeps sending me messages of wisdom. We see Cane and Peppers here. Make sure you subscribe, team, because if you subscribe, you can comment and join the team. We've got Daz, the owner of cows, similar to the master of hounds, which is the fingerless Rob Kent. G'day, Kanan, brother. He's got his cows there. West side, Mr. P. Jay Hayes is always here. And I don't take you for granted, Jay. I really appreciate you being here. I do. I was sick as a kicked dog on the weekend. It came, it went, it came, it went. I could have had COVID. I don't know. I'll never get checked. Andrew Lavender. Now that sounds like a name that girls would like flowers from on Valentine's Day, which is not about your missus. It's about the girl that got away. USS Wasp. He'll sting you right in the clacker because being a Navy guy, he is a disciple of the cabin boy. Please leave a thumbs up. Are you trying to tease Rob Kent? He's still got his thumb. Hope everyone's had a great week. We've had a good week. My little girl just kicked some goals today. She got 3 different awards plus a medal. The medal was for outstanding child, except when she's at home. Oh, I Am Robin is here. Good to have you here, Crypto Lord. She got the Citizenship Award, which is fantastic for kindness to other kids. She got the Sports Girl Award for coming first in the school for cross country. Okay, and she got the Gold Award for all round good kid at school. Fantastic. And a medal, of course. So she's got something in common with so-called Deadpool. She got a medal. AM in the PM. G'day, Kaz and team. I just got posted to Darwin. You'd better be looking on the average bloody Marine, mate, or you're going to get none in the cupboard, son. If you got your father's looks, you might be in trouble. I saw someone with red hair in Darwin once, and I thought, get the hint, get the memo, mate. No tan for you, sir. Jet Marshman? You're going to Air Force with a name like Jet. Clayton Robinson. Hi, Kaz. Hope you're well. I am. Depends who you ask. My mate looks like a fat kangaroo. A bit of roadkill right there. Stevie, Spider-Man, Webb. Leave a thumbs up for Kaz because he's worth it, says L'Oreal. We've got Peter Mayfield, sounding like a packet of durries. How you going, buddy? Nicole King. Hey, Kaz. Ali smashed out the goals for sure this year. She did, but now it's left her with nothing to aim up for. Now she's got to hold the lead, which is always a tough one, my friend. Lauren, cheeky man, Kaz, yes. I Am Robin says, lots of laugh. I got 2 medals, that is. But stealing is a crime, or even though that's how we got to Australia, I guess. He's got some iron in his diet too. Cameron Peter, 2 first names, always confusing for all of those calling the roll surname first. Swamp Wallaby or Jack Hannon, which one are you? I came 85 out of 190 in my latest cross country. About halfway. Good on you. Darren Smith. It's a common name. That lady must have truly got around. There's a Darren Smith in every sport and in every platoon. G'day, buddy. How you going? We just got off the phone together. This is a man that, really doesn't think forward. He's the kind of guy that... Wait a sec. Let's open up, shall we, with the satanic background. Boom. Good to have you here. Darren Smith was the guy on Kangaroo 92 with me. He was also Rwanda with me. He was in 4 platoon with me. He was in 1 section with me. He was there with Deadpool as well, who was his best friend. But Deadpool is also known as Robin, and he knows who he is. I remember being with Darren Smith, Smithy. We used to break it down to lovely parents. His mum likes to play with your ear when she talks to you, even on the first time she's met you. It's adorable, really. And basically, he was sick of mozzies and sick of ants, but squirted them okay, with all our repellent that was toxic. It came straight from the Chernobyl drinking wells. And he sprayed them on the ants, only to know that as the night came upon us, that the mosquitoes were unbelievable and relentless, and we had no repellent. So we slapped each other like a Kiwi piss-up until it was daytime again. And he's also the man that I held once and said, it doesn't mean I'm gay. And he said, me either, as he teaspooned me. Like it was also Valentine's Day on a deserted island. So, guys and gals, Brendan Field, Nick the Ambados, sorry about the names, guys. You know my eyes are made of cloth. We're here for a reason today. Boom. Not that one. That one. Look at that guy. Look how excited he is. And look at her. She's the prize, maybe for now. You know, I quite like this thumbnail. Mum and Dad and Denny. We'll call her that. It's the time for the end of the year. December. What does it mean to you as a soldier? Well, it means a hell of a lot. And we're going to talk about it tonight. Welcome all. I hope you're doing well as you get ready for the last days of school, the last days of military, the long drive ahead. Travelling at 90 down the old roads, Castle on the Hill, for those that like a brew. Almost every year, pardon me, someone makes a big mistake in the army. And it happens at this month of the year, December and January. So make sure you don't lose your common sense, because you are being watched 100% of the time, you know, and it doesn't trigger, okay, replay or record that Xbox, so to say, Battlefield 2042 or what do you call it, Call of Duty or Fortnite for those that are a bit younger, until you do something wrong, and then it catches it all, and the word always gets back to the brigade you come from. But what's going to occur is, boom, this video you'll be briefed on December, what happens in December, BRL Brigade Recreational Leave, leave entitlement from the commander, okay, how long you're going to go away for, what actually occurs, what is occurring at the same time, and how every year your life will be different when you go back to work, you know, than what it was when you left. Your credibility needs to be re-won for starters. You get to pull the fat cord for about 4 to 6 weeks. Take into account, depending on how much leave you have, you get an extra day and a half of leave per month, I believe the leave entitlement is, and you get extra leave for completing field days. You know, Nicole King would know more about this subject than anyone. Nicole, if you can give us a rundown in the chat there of leave entitlement from a clerical point of view, how we accrue it, that'd be appreciated. But what happens is we'll lead up through the start of the year, which is collective skills, individual, then collective. Okay, then we'll get a test of objectives being your individual skills moving into group, collective, section, platoon, right? And then company, then battalion, then brigade, course periods, and then you'll get BRL, the end of the year, where you piss off, calendar year, not the financial year, so to speak. So what's going to happen there is, as you get closer to December, those that you call brother, she ain't heavy, she's my brother, what's going to occur is you're going to have the ability to start saying to your compadre, before COVID especially, who wants to come to Bali if it's approved for leave? Who wants to go to Thailand? Who wants to come to Byron Bay? Who wants to go wherever? And then you plan road trips. But what's going to be your priority? Who's going to be your priority? We'll get to that in a second. You're going to be briefed tonight on all of these things that you should be thinking about prior to December. The end of the year. And this is also going to include big decisions that you need to be making, not based on emotion, when you get closer to New Year's resolution, so to speak. All right. Lauren's not on here at the moment, team, because her phone is probably blowing out gases the same as that guy's smoke grenade there. Wish I could have one. Cayenne peppers is my daughter's favourite colour. Orange, not a bad one. Hari Krishna. Hey, Northern Parrot, how you going? Hey, Kaz, Lauren and team. Dave D. You know, do you have any more Tuesday nights for this year? Peter Mayfield needs to be careful in Thailand. You do. You can go over to Thailand and come back with a cracking boyfriend who you thought was a girlfriend. But don't worry, you'll be able to tell the difference. Tastes like chicken. Anyway, next one. December marks the end of the military year and the commencement of BRL annual leave. The one thing I tell you about all the time with the military, one of the fantastic things is you can get between 6 and 8 weeks off, depending on how much leave you got in the book. And they might even say to you, it's time for you to take some more leave out of the book. The reason why we get more holidays than any other profession in the army, other than police officer in New South Wales, 5 days on, 47 days off, that's fake news, is so that you can have the same time off as your children. You know, so you can make up for those times you're away and bond with them, etc. Jay Hayes, silly sausage from Serena. There we go. Brendan Field, Peter Mayfield, I prefer Cambodia. Food is amazing if you like to eat a gooey back tarantula, I guess, or the beating heart of a cobra, like Mr. Skelton had once done. So December marks that BRL, and you're going to feel a tempo of energy, you know, start to build up as people start to get excited, except for married men. BRL sucks for the married man because the married man is about to go from being nagged by a CSM, by a platoon sergeant, by a section commander, by an RSM, and now he's going to be nagged by the wife. And and that'll last the entire holiday, including maybe the drive down south from their remote locality. So we're going to base this as though you're in Townsville, righto? The reason is Townsville is the best choice you can say for your first posting in 4 years because it's a garrison town and it's not the divorce capital, which is Darwin, overpriced real estate as well. The sweet taste of cold coffee. Yep. So there we go. That's when it starts, around December. You know, how long is a piece of string? How much leave do you have? You can take some earlier than others if you want. You know, not everyone is going to get the leave. If you are the standby ready reaction company or the online battalion, you'll be a company that may be working through that entire time in case a glass gets smashed by a politician who never wins debates and ends up sending Australians to do what he'd never ask his kid to do. Other leave is after 72 hours and our field starts occurring extra day or every day extra, you're outfield. Occurring an extra day for every day extra you're outfield. Okay. Donkey Bong. No, it's a day of leave every 10 days outfield. Yep, that's about right. That's about right. And 1.5 days per month. Because at the end of the year, if you've got no leave and that can happen, how can that happen? Because you've just come from the School of Infantry and they might decide you're not doing rear details. So you can get the commander's grant, which is normally about 10 days before December and then coming back at the start of the new year. So pretty much everyone gets their leave unless they're online. All right? Okay. Bam. Promotions and postings. The promotion period normally happens in the last month of the battalion. Okay? And I'm saying this of battalion because everyone is classed as infantry as their second alternate role. So when you get promoted at the end of the year, okay, basically that won't happen in a battalion unless it's the rank of Lance Corporal or Section Commander. Okay, and that can happen any time of the year, actually, when you finish your either junior leadership course or your sub-2 or equivalent course that makes you a section commander, squad leader, so to speak, sergeant in the US, okay, corporal in Australia. But for promotions like sergeant, warrant officer, captain, major, all of those sort of ones, it'll happen at the end of the year. You know, but it will take effect, basically. It'll be worn rank, but it'll take effect on posting because you don't get made up and then stay in the same unit. So when you make it to sergeant, it's normally at a training establishment, but you're coming back to a unit or an Army Reserve unit, normally a unit, okay, to do your regimental time, to earn your bones, so to speak. So promotions will occur. So that means that you're going to lose your platoon sergeant, you know, or if you get promoted, you're about to get posted, whether you like it or not, and you're probably going to be going from the School of Infantry back to a battalion, maybe one you've never even been in before. maybe in a state you've never been in before, potentially even in a role that you've never been in before. So you're either going to be, the soldiers are going to be losing their platoon sergeant, who now has seniority over you, and you're going to be replacing him. But it means that platoon commanders should be getting, or the platoon sergeant senior should be getting a brand new platoon commander. So, and a senior platoon commander can be getting a junior sergeant. I know that sounds confusing, but it's never meant to be the same at the same time. And what'll happen is you get promoted, you know it's going to happen, and you get a posting order with it. So when you go on holidays, you spend your entire Christmas period moving to that location, doing your leave details that have to happen, moving into a new property, meeting the neighbours, realising you made a mistake with DHA, which house you chose, and then from there, getting settled in, getting a new haircut, getting fit, so you turn up looking as good as you can to hit the ground running at about the 16th and 17th of January the following year, which is when senior NCOs go back to work. Soldiers normally go back around the same amount of time, but normally come in about 5 days after that, because there can be activities that are required to do. Same deal if you're going to the School of Infantry, or if you're going to Kapuka as an instructor, right, on promotion, then normally, well, it won't be on promotion because you go there as a senior corporal. Okay, what will occur is you'll go there and then you'll have some not only mandatory training, which is about suicide awareness, which is about code of conduct, which is about instructor courses to see whether you have the skill sets to actually even be that guy, so they can decide, are you going to be down at depot company, or are you going to be in a Q store, or doing something you didn't think you were going to do, range control, whatever it may be. To Major Tom, sorry, that was for the ladies that didn't swipe right. So a lot of things happen at once, right? A lot of it happens at once. And you're going to see toll transition trucks everywhere on the road, at that time of year. That's a 10-4, Jay. Daz, Kane, how far can you reach out with that radio? Nicole King says, Donkey Kong, what they do for ERL now then? Do you get a day for every extra day you are needed? You've only ever got really 1 day for every 10 days outfield. Otherwise, I would have had a fucking hundreds. Pardon the language. Turkey fish. Let me just finish here for a second, guys. A little bit of a timeout. Turkey fish. Can we get some thumbs up for Turkey fish? He got some bad news. He's a truck driving guy in his civilian life, and just got told because of different things with him that he has now been found not suitable for military service, which was his calling. He wanted to do it. So can we get some thumbs up there for him, because that dream is gone, and now we're suggesting as a plan B to him to look at doing either domestic or abroad mining, which means you can go there with absolutely no skills and they will train you up, and then you can be on the massive dollars that can afford the drugs that killed River Phoenix that you won't go on, and get your life restarted, re-kicked in, and there you go. A lot of thumbs up from Daz there. He needs someone to come down and help him with that cattle once we get a few more. Thanks, team, for looking after the turkey fish. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Postings and promotions. Bam. What's going to be your priority? Fitness, family, and rest. Now, what you should never do is totally pull the fat cord when you go on holidays, especially if you're in an arms corps, because one of the first things you're going to do back is a fitness test, not an acclimation test necessarily when you first get back. We'll turn this off for a sec so you're not getting bloody... oh, no, I've got to leave that up there. It's got the family and rest, I guess. You don't want to get fat over leave. You've got to check yourself, make sure your BMI sort of stays kind of regular, but have a good time. Don't overtrain. This is time for your body to actually repair from the year that was and the year that will be ahead, because you're always going to have niggling injuries when you're in the military. You will. Are you going to choose family or friends? because you can do both. What I recommend is you go down and you spend Christmas, up to Christmas and just beyond, with your family that have missed the shit out of you because you were in their life for 20 plus years, and all of a sudden you're gone like a Zyrtec. And then when you do come back, you're already going tapping your G-Shock, which is brand new because you just got in your lid. And now you already want to skate out to go and hang out with a chick that's going to say no to you on New Year's Eve because you didn't realise you've been swiped left from the start because you made yourself look like a chihuahua chasing the tail of a German shepherd you were never going to get, you dickhead. Always go for a no-namer, someone you've never met. Try to fall in love. Look at the stars, read the crystals. They'll never let you down. But your life is about adventure. Spend the first half with family. Treat them well. They got you to where you are. Show them that respect. Give them that respect. Go back. Have some of those home-cooked meals. Understand that every year you're going to be further and further apart mentally from those guys you called friends that have been replaced by brothers that wear the uniform. Because you're going to be a different person now. Completely different. And they either have resentment or not like the new person you've become as you've disappeared from who you used to be because you've grown up. All right, family, yep, look after them. Buy them things. Pay for them to go to dinner. You know, what bigger compliment can you give someone than pay for the entire dinner knowing that it was Tully that paid for that? Effort and rest. Sleep in. Afternoon sleeps. Your body's healing. Have a good time. When it starts to get ready for New Year's, that's time to catch up with your buddies. You know, somewhere else. Different postcode. Have fun. Drink a bit. Drink a lot. But go out happy. And have a good time. Because it's almost time to start again. Yep. Catch up with your good friends. Make sure you plan it because they might just stand you up as well. Yep. Stand in shadow for 1 hour, Jay. I'm not sure what that one's about. Lauren, read the crystal. Sounds like Kaz has to be to the Lentil Palace. Not so much for Kaz. I don't believe any of that unicorn bullshit. Well, got to go join the grandkids. That's a good one, man. That's never a task. Good on you, Mr. P. Thanks for being here, sir. You know, and thanks for what you do. Jay Hayes turns about 9 degrees. Take care. It's safe. Can we also do a bit of a thumbs up? You know, for oops. Boom. Can we do a big thumbs up here too for Ed B in the USA, Kentucky, and I'm not talking about the bucket. Don't get excited, Blue Wernham, if you're out there. Kentucky has just had a record-sized tornado sweep through their state, and it was only about 5 miles away from where Ed lives. Now, it was total devastation. If you look at the photos, you can see a brown path, a path of colour, so to speak, where that tornado went. They believe at the moment there could be over 100 people that have lost their lives. God bless them. Not too cow. It's tragic. It really is. You know, it also hit an Amazon distribution facility and absolutely leveled it. So someone else is going to get your Xbox tonight. But to those that lost their lives and to those that are cleaning up the mess, it's a big job ahead. You know, stay strong, stay safe. Yep. Thanks you very much, team, for backing him up there. Mr. Buckaroony. There you go. Yeah, I couldn't have imagined. You know, and it hit in the middle of the night too. It hit a candlestick making facility and absolutely tore it to pieces. It showed you people devastated. Their loved ones haven't come home, and that doesn't bode well. Space Ninja. Everything's silent up there. Wasn't it a hurricane, according to Biden? That guy is an absolute fool. He just did a reading. I'm not sure it was, I think it was a dead police officer's service, and he read the teleprompter, everything, including end of message at the end. You're going, what an It's not even his fault anymore. He's corrupt. He's a dick, allegedly. Kid touching freak, and his kid, Hunter, is no better. And he should be getting hunted by the highest authorities, allegedly. Mr. Buckaroo, thanks for our Yank mates at this time. They do it hard, don't they? Brendan Field, and no one ended up in Oz. I'm not sure what that one was about. But if your packages don't make it here, maybe they're somewhere in Kentucky right now. Anyway, so big career decisions. Let's just say there's about 2 or 3 things that can end a soldier's career. I'll get rid of these out the back there, although alcohol and ladies is the biggest ones. Right, and that is the end of the year, you're going to be bloody fatigued. You cannot wait for it. Sometimes you're injured and just are praying for that bit of fresh air when the holidays come. Now, before that happens, there's peer pressure. People normally don't get out of the army, discharged from the army as a individual thought pattern. There's normally peer pressure behind it. You're normally getting out because someone you look up to, not because they're taller, but because you respect them, is getting out, so peer pressure. Peer pressure can also come from your partner that doesn't share the same love energy for your career as you do. Right? This is a career. It's not a job. And if they can't give you a better solution on what you should be doing instead, and there's not a pressing thing, the only person you should get out for is you, because you're going to be the one who suffers for the rest of your life if you get out prematurely. And I had a good conversation with, calls himself Deadpool. I call him Robin. And there is a list as long as the Great Wall of China of soldiers who got out of the military that was there. Let's go, Brandon. I see you there, Ace. Who got out prematurely, she said, and then regret it for the rest of their life and still hang on to the same stories up until the moment they left, wishing they could be back there. Because that was the last place you either, one, was a bit relevant, 2, felt like you were surrounded by people that were exactly the same as you, and 3, you're addicted to that lifestyle. It was freaking amazing, and it changes you forever. It absolutely changes you forever. Once you've been in uniform, you look at the world in a different way. You can't go backwards. That's what he said. Until he did. Anyway, Elton John, no entry. So decisions. So let's just say you're thinking about getting out of the army. Don't get out because of emotional reasons. If you go on BRL, and you can always wait till the end of the year, and you do your BRL, you're going to get 6 to 8 weeks to make a decision in your mind. Do I really want to get out, or do I miss it by the time it's New Year's Eve? And I realise no matter what sucks about being in the military, and there's things that suck in the Air Force, Navy, Army, said the cabin boy, but there's also so many rewards, and adventure and brotherhood that cannot be replaced anywhere else. So you need to wait until you've done your full cycle of the BRL, and then at the end of BRL, if you can sit down with a level head and no hangover, and hopefully a full volume of the man juice, what I mean is testosterone, you can still say, you know what, my time is done. Then no one can have a problem with you. Take the necessary steps, put your discharge in. You only get 3 months now, so you don't change your mind instead of 6. Right? But don't put it in throughout the year based on emotion, fatigue or injury or pressure, and then regret it by the time already the next BRL period comes around and you realise, I ain't going back because they're not going to have me back because I discharged based on emotion. You don't want that. So big decisions need to be made after arrest. That's why it's not fair when they say to Cameron Smith and other footy players at the after winning a grand final, sign back on for another year. And the guy goes, oh, well, I'll do it. And you can hear his wife going, no, Cameron, you knew they were going to do that. We want you to stay. We want you to stay. We need you on that wall. And when someone that's good discharges, not only is it a morale sapping tragedy, but also sometimes it creates a vacuum that pulls other people out of the network, and we don't get them back again. And quite often you end up finding out that they didn't want to get out, but they got out for emotional reasons, and that's not the reason to get out for, and it will last your lifetime. Well, okay, let's go to you guys for a second before we talk about the last one. No elitism, please. Stickman, nice to see you though. Sticky. Mr. Buckaroo, 3 months. Yeah, mate. 3 months is not enough. 3 months is not enough. You need to be able to change your mind, but you shouldn't be allowed to change your mind just to get out of goddamn effing Tully. You're going to Tully. I'll put my discharge in. I'm going to start packing my boxes right now. I'm going to hand in my webbing so I don't go to Tully. And the second the trucks leave, you go, you know what? I'm thinking about staying. As a matter of fact, I've got one now. Because they might just turn around, and if you're a dickhead and you threaten people with getting out, they might just go, I dare you. I dare you. I believe that every 2 years, after the first 4 years, you should be able to re-sign on, or should have to re-sign on, but then you get a bonus. Even if it's just $5,000, $10,000. How would that be? Every 2 years, $10,000, shut her up. I'll do it. I reckon that'd be a great idea. Do you know what else would be a great idea? Right about now, if Australia bought $5 billion worth of Bitcoin, just in case it is the investment of a lifetime, while it's down, get it cheap, buy the dip. Put a thumbs up if you reckon Australia should buy Bitcoin as an investment, that if it takes off, a bit of a gamble maybe, that if it doubles, triples, quadruples, that it can buy a piece of infrastructure that makes Australia a better place. Who dares wins? Thumbs up, thumbs down if you reckon no. Mr. Buckaroony, hey Kaz, next year's Camp Up profits going to a veterans charity. Put a thumbs up if you reckon Mr. Buckaroony's got to stop giving every single cent away. Because I know it's not free for Mr. Bucko to run his channel. He's got a bloody big heart, and people will keep taking. They will. Mr. Buckaroony, you do something for you and Roz and Rafa as well. You're a good channel. Dragon, is that 60-60? Hey, Kaz and team, have to wait for 7 weeks for medical clearance. The wait can suck. Anything can wait for approval and start a PFA. That's all right. Okay, when I joined it was for 3 or 6 years. Now it's females 2 years, males 4. Or gap year for 1. Northern Parrot says, Buck, my dad and I might be coming to your camp up next year. Get some photos of you and Bucko together, Kane. Stickman. That would be wasteful. Not if it gets through, Sticky. And I reckon the Bitcoin's going to be a big deal. A real big deal. Australia's already creating a digital currency. Yep, and the Commonwealth Bank has got 10 coins now, I believe, that you can have in your crypto wallet there. So when the Commonwealth Bank is starting to see the writing on the wall, I reckon we need to look at this a bit more seriously, because there's a couple of countries around the world at the moment that are really doing well by having it. Leo, stuntman for life. It won't be long before you can't buy it, because countries will buy it and it'll become an industrial investment instead of retail. Is that Nos Cooper, 69? Mate, no disrespect, my eyes are shattered. Was wondering if I gave Defence my life, if my living conditions would improve. Absolutely. In exchange for everything I am, and would they help me buy a house? Yes, they can help you buy a house. Not only that, if you get posted to Townsville, you will get rental assistance. Okay, depending if you've got a missus or not, you'll get rental assistance either way after 6 months living in, if you have to live in, based on your age. But you'll only pay around half market rent. But then what happens is, if you buy a house, okay, and you use the military loan system, DOAS, okay, what can happen then is then soldiers can be paying rental assistance to you to live in your house, your mates. Your missus won't be happy with that unless they're better looking than you. There's some pretty good perks, mate. I'm too old for this Bitcoin thingy. You know what? I'm too old to be working every day. That's why I look at crypto and that and go, you know what? If it works out and it's good for me daughter, that's a thumbs up because she's working pretty hard. Good little girl, just not as good at home as what she is at school. Remember, you can't lose any money on anything unless you sell. You just wait it out. They thought my eyes were dodgy, but it's just because I'm Asian. Dragon. I love it. Nicole, is there still OE to those who join, or do they need to resign to stay? OE. Can you specify that one, please, Nicole? Mr. Buckaroony, Greg Palmer, good to have you here, Greggy. You are going to be in handcuffs as soon as you arrive. There you go. We've got it cleared. Have to wait. Stevie Webb. I think Sweden is creating their own crypto. Look, at the end of the day, team, they can talk about the actual real inflation rate as much as they want, calling it 3%, calling it 4%, maybe going high and calling it 6%. I'd say it's about fucking 40%. When you look at an unhappy meal at McDonald's, how much it costs to even take kids to the most cardboard flavoured food in Australia, then look at a can of Coke can be $5 if you buy it for a servo. Then you look at petrol, $2 a litre nearly. And then you look at a house, or a car, or a shirt, Bonds undies, $24 a pair. Boxer shorts, that is. No one wears undies. All they are is gay Speedos. BYO body bags. Holy, now there's a name. That could get you flagged. Is it better to get a trade in the army because doing army before doing a full-time job? Yep, I reckon it is. I reckon it is because what the army gives you is a team-oriented mindset. It does. You think of the team. You go in there, you can handle the resilience of getting yelled at, when you deserve it. You can work in adverse conditions for prolonged periods of time. You can get along with others, from a work perspective, brotherhood, despite the fact that you might not normally like them as someone you'd have a drink, lift a glass with, or bring to your family to break bread with. So absolutely. Fugly. Don't listen to Fugly. He hasn't served. Fugly, don't give advice on something you don't know. I am Deadpool. You're talking about Gonzo Lauren. I'm not sure what that one is. Crypto was a totally different thing in Signals Core. Yes, it was. HF and VHF. Corey Lanchester. And by the way, Buckaroony, I authenticate Alpha Zulu. You can't do Zulu. Alpha Sierra. There you go. What is it? Drago, not great weight, but at least I found problems with running ankle tendons. Okay. You blame me again, Jay. Brady Cars is here. Clean out the cage, Buck. The parrot is coming up. They call them the cages in the military too. You got to clear out your cage before you get posted. Fake news, Jay. I just did Webby, Fugly. Wait, I read the question wrong. My bad. It's okay, Fugly. No one lives in a glass house more than Fugly. He's a glazier. When something goes wrong in their life, you won't know until other people say you're dripping. It's scary when you hear about glaziers when an accident occurs. You're normally the last to know. The first week, mandatory training and testing. Time to go back to work, sorry. The first week. So let's just say you come back. Your staff should be back there before you, so that they can operate and get briefs, not in the ears and the earshot, of the private soldier. Maybe there's some ass kickings. Maybe there's some things that need to be squared away. Maybe there's some administration that needs to be sorted, or some situations that have occurred over the BRL period. Maybe it's even a mandatory drug test for all senior NCOs and officers. Anyway, the pulse rate of the battalion will be then listened to because any reportable incidents will already be on the RSM's desk, and you're going to probably find out as a sergeant coming back to work in a brand new unit, you've already got a Q&A, unofficial what do you call it, investigation you need to conduct. You know, there might be that pet soldier. There's always one soldier in every platoon of 30. Don't be that soldier. So you have to sort that shit out. But when you come back, your hair had better be cut, or someone like me is going to cut it. And I'll give you a mohawk until you go and fix it yourself. And it won't be the length you want. You're going to do suicide awareness briefs. You're going to do a climatisation PT. That doesn't mean taking it easy. That means going out and doing it hard and hydrating. You're going to get area, what do you call it? I can't remember. You might get new inoculations, military ones. You might get dental checks, medical, once over, basic fitness assessment, which is not the PFA. It's 3 times harder, but still easy. You're going to get acquainted. You're going to have code of conduct briefs. You're going to get an area brief. You're going to get acquainted with your new staff members. It's a massive deal and so different to come back as I Am Deadpool, he calls himself, as the private soldier, Somalia veteran. It's so different to him coming back to 4 platoon and going, okay, another year. Lumpy, what did you eat over Christmas? Bluey, you look different, mate. Okay, who's that guy? That's Moon. Right. So that is completely different to the guy that starts up, brand new, okay, sergeant in the battalion. He was getting called mate, Smithy, goes away for 6 weeks, comes back. He was just at the School of Infantry. Now he's got sergeants on. And the guys that used to call him mate are now calling him sergeant. Now he's advising a platoon commander. Now he's taking care of the discipline and administration of a platoon, and he is the grandfather of the platoon. He is the mentor. He is the father. He is the one where the buck stops. And if it does not stop with him, it goes higher. And then there is nothing we can do for Breaker Morant. Yeah, either way, team. The first week, we come back, we sort out everything, any problems, any administrational dramas, any problems with the wife, the kids, getting the kids back to school, all of these different things. And then the foot goes straight to the metal and we start our mandatory training. And then once that's out the way, we're back into a full year ahead. All right, with your next break is going to come at Easter. Okay, your next break after that is going to come around September. Okay, the next one is going to be, you get a June as well, don't you? April, May, June, no, April, then September, and then at Christmas. Right. So you do get more holidays than people get in civilian life. But you've earned them, I tell you. Lauren, I see him online encouraging folks. I'm not a fan of Facebook heroes of the veteran community, but he's a lovely chap. Who are we talking about? OH&S briefs, heat briefs, suicide briefs, bullying briefs, equity briefs, heat briefs. Brendan Field question, what are your thoughts on civilian signals operators? I didn't know there was any, mate. I didn't even know they. Do you mean someone that works for Telecom? Telstra? Sorry, mate. I'm outside of my lane. I have no opinion. I remember I got charged for not shaving in the army. That can happen. But Greggy, I bet you'd already done something else to get on their bad graces before that, hadn't you? Because normally we don't go straight to guns, on someone unless they've got under our skin a little bit. So if you dig in a bit deeper, there might be something more to it. Are you sure you weren't with someone's wife? Senior Montero. Sorry, mate, I was away from my phone all day making other calls, Mr. Montero. I didn't get to get back to you, mate. Hey, Kaz, sorry I'm late. Had my assessment day today for infantry. Went extremely well in both the psych and the job interview. Another box ticked. Boom. Well done, mate. Jamie Collins, yep, he was always beside me in courses. He stood by me, he gave me advice when there was no one else that could talk into these Lebanese bread ears. And so for that, I'll always be in his debt and for what he's done for others. Fat fella. Evening, Kaz. I'm late too. Pregnant? I've got my enlistment date for February the 7th for infantry. Excellent. Do you know what that means, my friend? That means that you're going to be doing Singo in winter. And that sucks in everyone's book. Well done. Well chosen. Mate, well done, fat fella. I hope you're not as fat when you join, because I tell you now, Singo's not easy, mate. And it preys on those that are below the 50% mark of the platoon, regardless of how fit the top 50% are. How are you guys going? Has anyone heard about what's going on with the tornado in Kentucky? Terrible, absolutely terrible. It's quite upsetting to think people are looking now, going, even their neighbours. Some of them have been spared. Nothing wrong with their house, and they've got next door neighbours' trampoline in their backyard now. 2 trampolines. But their friends, absolute devastation. And you can only imagine how many pets have gone as well, which is really terrible. Ibrahim, g'day mate, how you going? Good to have you here. Skullduggery? Kaz, what do you reckon of the brass? Some of the best people I've ever met are leaders, mate. Some of the best. Some of the worst are there as well. The Australian Army does not pick people for their leadership roles based on their leadership. RMC is full of people that are intelligent, but a lot of them have no common sense, and a lot of them were there because their IQ was high, and they just didn't sack them. Yeah, that's weird. To me, the position should be at RMC that you go there, no one has got a specific role unless they've SSO'd over as someone who's already qualified in a skilled area and then come over and done a bridging course to work for usually an operational deployment. But when they go to RMC, they should go to RMC, and at the end of RMC, they should be told, based on where they fit, that they're a very decisive thinker. That they should be someone who's a tactical commander in infantry, cavalry armour, artillery, signals corps, engineers, etc. And if they're a little bit more sedentary than that, that's another word for fat or lazy, but they're an intellectual, then maybe they should be more into the intelligence area, or something more to do with the planning cycle, which is not so much the regimental side of things, because some people intellectually have an amazing fitness for prolonged periods of intense thought process and planning, while others are just very physical, and lead by actual leadership, by command presence, by stature, by toughness, by stoicism, and they do a great job. And you'll see a bell curve of those commanders in every battalion, in every unit. Jay Hayes, Deadpool, helmet and crayons. Okay. There is a significant difference between knowledge and intelligence. There is. And wisdom, intelligence, we've spoken about 100 times. Am I intelligent? Probably not. Probably not. Wisdom, but I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've also learnt from watching the mistakes of so many more. So the conversations I have with you now is not the world according to Kaz. It is the world of 1,000 in-depth conversations that I've had that are now put through one microphone and camera, summarised, soda stream, high volume, high bubbles and effervescence through the microphone to you. So you're listening to the smarter people that have guided myself through a quarter of a century or a half a century of wisdom from my father and from those that I followed afterwards. Dave Peter, and sometimes you guys as well. I learned from you guys as well, remember? Heck, as my future son-in-law has graduated from Kapuka and off to Royal Australian Engineers as a qualified chippy. What do you think he can expect when he gets to the unit? Great guys, hard work, just be careful on the substance abuse. What I mean by that is knocking down too many VBs, because they work real hard, they party real hard, You know, their units are fantastic, but there is some peer pressure if you're not careful, and the engineers know that. You know, I reckon he's going to be in with a good bunch of blokes, mate, and some of those will be at your house probably, not this Christmas, but the next one. Howdy. G'day, Wrong Opinion. How you going? I've been told that off of myself, my friend. Jay Hayes, Kane, I do stunts with my spanner. I don't know what spanner stands for there. Is that any guy? The ADF chief who was put in charge of our bushfire response was a top leader. Wish he he would take Angus Campbell's place. It's a hard thing in the military, and you know what? I've got to give props to the officers because I feel sorry for them, because they're in a position whether they go in as a lieutenant and they make their way through the ranks. You know, it is really hard for them to stand out, but also to not be traitors to who they want to be. Because at the end of the day, you still have to conform to a certain amount of level. Otherwise, you will come across as the person that is the highly, what do you call that? Non-agreeable. And they might think your career is not going to go far because you're always that stick in the mud. But if you say yes to your boss too often and you don't become a mess member where you can have those conversations and rebuttal things with intelligence and intellect and sources and information that is credible, then basically what can happen is you can be ostracized. So when in doubt, be as fit as you possibly can. If you're going to be a platoon commander, be fitter and wiser than the other two platoon commanders that you'll be in a rifle company with, and you're going to pave the way to heaven right there. I don't like the fact that they lock in their own promotion courses and they get to speak to Dockham for their management courses, you know, but the private soldier, even that's been in, you know, for 20 plus years, still has to go through people with agendas before he gets to speak to his career advisor. No middleman should be there between you and your career advisor. That should be a candid conversation where ranks are dropped, anger can be put out the door and come in, talk to me. Don't raise your voice at me, son. I'm not your enemy, but I can be. Don't be a dickhead. Don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to your family. Right. And I've had some really good ones who really put me in some good positions, you know, for my own benefit. Anyway, that out the way. Neville Bartos. There's no cash here, mate. No cash. Guys and gals, we've been here for 52 minutes. You know, look at that soldier. Look how happy he looks. He's choosing his beers. He's earned his beers. He's going home to see his family. The lady, this is the best. You know, I couldn't imagine she'd be single for long. But guys, you do need to take it easy. December is the best month, but it's unfortunately also the month of the year where we lose the most soldiers a year. Usually December and January, you know, where people do stupid shit, whether it be misadventure, whether it be peer pressure, whether it be substance abuse. You know, people get themselves in trouble. You know, and sometimes they can't get out of it. Sometimes it's permanent. Sometimes it's fatal. Respect your family name. Respect your uniform. Respect your flag. Respect civilians. And respect yourself. And you really can't go wrong. Green Kid. Hey, Kaz, just wanted to say thank you for your help for getting me to Kapuka. I didn't drive you there, mate. We're all just waiting in Christmas platoon. Going to back to Queensland. Cheers. Good on you, mate. Good on you. To all our servicemen out there that are either in Solomons, you know, in the Sinai, around the world, and those serving domestically, you know, I really take my hat off to you. I'm not gonna, because I'll look like Ellen DeGeneres. But really be careful about getting out. Because I'm going to tell you something. I miss it every single day. I don't miss Tully. I'd go back there with the camera, you know, But we are blessed to have that life. You can't go backwards. The grass is not greener when you get out. A part of you dies when you get out of the army. And you spend the rest of your life pissing people off, talking about when you're back in the army. But you got out voluntarily. I don't understand it. Not everyone misses it when they get out. But that's because they've done their time. They were in long enough. All right? Don't let the politics get to you. Politics are in every job around the world, every single one now, whether it be OH&S restrictions, unions, leadership, relationship. But you can enjoy the journey if you choose it. Then that is the totem, okay, that you attach yourself to. Make sure you like if you can, team. And I had a really good day today. My little girl, she showed me that she was the fittest little girl at the school. She got the gold award for being a great kid. She also got the citizenship award for kindness to other kids. And she got a medal, for just being a blessing in the schoolyard too. So I do wish that they'd throw this COVID bullshit out the window and allow parents back into the schools, because at the end of the day, I need to trust the teachers. They don't need to trust me. I'm the one that's handing over something precious. They don't give shit. Allow transparency of the schooling system, because today they really stuffed up. The link that was sent, because we're not allowed to go and watch our kids get their awards, which is a crime, okay, because they're a one-off. You cannot replace a child looking up and seeing no one, waiting, celebrating, proud of them in the stands, promoting good behaviour, but then send an incorrect link so the family and extended family can't even watch those moments as they got caught on a camera that someone you don't know is filming when you're not allowed to do it yourself. Common sense is dying in today's world. It really is. But New South Wales is about to open, and let's hope, for the sake of the politicians, that they don't pull some Abercrombie and Finch variant just as the school holidays start and fuck 2021's Christmas. Because 2022 is around the corner. And I wish you all the best with what you decide. And for those that you decide to shake hands with, put your arm around, swipe right to, and for the new kids and pitter-patter of feet that we're going to be dancing to as we celebrate them, as they learn and we become the wise men and women that pave the way of a safer society and a truthful one for them. So let common sense prevail over the voice and the chaos of the left that is allowed to reign when the good people are forced to watch on, listen and obey. Take it easy. Mucho respecto. All the best to Lauren, whose phone is not working properly at the moment. I hope you got something out of tonight. Leave a comment later. I've got some cool things coming our way. And sorry that I had a headache that could have killed a convict for the last few days. Take it easy. Australia, buy some crypto. And in turn, buy another version of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. A piece of infrastructure that makes us proud, that kids can hang a memory on, buy a nail for, and say I was part of the project. Because you know what? Life is quicker than what you realise. Fat fella, new variants are sounding like Transformer names. I'm not sure. By the way, MRH 90s, we're getting rid of them. We're going back to Blackhawks. There you go. I told you I didn't like them. Well done. See you later. Kaz Senior, 50 years old. Hold up the bat. Boom. See you later. It'll be your turn for some wisdom next. And that's Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. Appreciate you giving me your time. Right. See you later. Take it easy. Let's get ready for Christmas. See ya.